All right, y'all. So we are back with the main topic of this episode. And if you are looking at the title, then you already know that this is the episode 2 of the Social Dilemma mini series. And it also is called It Takes a Village. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to record for part 2 of the Social Dilemma mini series, um, I was like, you know what? I think I want to talk about when I went to the Hope Tour by Sarah Jakes Roberts. So, if you guys don't know who Sarah Jakes Roberts is, she is the daughter of Bishop T.D. Jakes, and she is that woman of God. Listen, she is a powerhouse. Like seeing her on video does not do her justice. Like she is a powerhouse. She will preach the house down. And it's not even just like, oh, like a motivational speaker, like, oh, get riled up. But like she speaks truth. She speaks with truth and transparency and with Jesus. Like it's amazing, right? So basically, I went to the Women Evolve Presents the Hope Revival Tour. And if you haven't heard of it, if you know Sarah Jakes Roberts, you know her huge ministry, Women Evolve, right? And it's like a big conference that they do every single year. It's like an annual conference. And this year, the Women Evolve conference, I believe it's in September 14th to 16th in Texas. I remember that because it's like a week after my birthday. But what they're doing this year is that they are doing like a mini tour before it called the Hope Revival Tour. And they came to Charlotte, North Carolina, in February, and it was amazing. It was so good. It was my first time ever going to anything Women Evolve related, or even just anything that Sarah Jakes Roberts was at. I never saw her in person. I never saw her preach in person. I never went to a Women Evolve conference or an event or anything like that. And it was so good, you guys. Like, well, first of all, it was amazing because I was in Charlotte. I love being in Charlotte, North Carolina, because I have like some friends there. I always link up with my friend Lena, and she's amazing. But it was so life changing and perspective changing too. And I know we say that for like a lot of like conferences and a lot of things that we go to, like different like events and church services, but like this was like, it was just like a perspective shift for me. It was so beautiful to see so many women, like a tribe of women from now granted this is a tour. So they had like, I think they went to about a sum total, I think about like 12 cities. But for Charlotte, just to see like a tribe of women come together for one common purpose, which is just to be set on fire for God. And it's like women of all different ages, all different colors, all different walks of life. Like, I mean, you saw people that either were preachers or people that are just now coming to the faith. Like it was just such a powerful thing. Like to be in a room where there's no competition, no comparison, no jealousy, no envy. And I'm saying that because as women, right, we deal with those things, amongst ourselves. We deal with competition. I deal with competition within myself. I do. We deal with competition. We deal with comparison. We deal with envy, jealousy, like, oh, she has that. Why does she think she's better than me? Like all of these things. But to come together and to see women support each other, like to love on each other, to uphold each other, like to lift each other up, it was so good. And it was a good time too. Like I love the way they structured it. Cause like I thought, like just from other conferences, I thought like, okay, like we come in, it's gonna be praise and worship and the preaching and we go home. But no, like it was amazing. Like so what it was is that they had an MC, and I don't know her name. If I could find her, I will definitely reference her, but I do not know her name. But she was amazing. Like she literally like was so hyped. She got all of us riled up. So like it was like they put up a video, right? And then like the MC came out and they had different games. And like apparently they have like this viral dance, Women Evolve Dance of the Year. So like they had like these three ladies come up and did a dance competition and like see who danced the best. And they were giving away like different prizes and gift cards. And like one thing that I loved out of the many things I loved about my experience at the Hope Revival Tour was they even gifted a volunteer that was not expecting anything. Like they were just gifting like different volunteers that have helped them, and like they know their situation, they know their dreams, their goals, and they just really wanted to like pour into their lives by like giving them money and stuff like that and giving them a huge check. And it was just so good, y'all. It was fun. It was fun. Like it was like a girls' night out with a bunch of women I don't know, but a bunch of women that I felt like were my sisters. Because we all are daughters of God, and we all are here for one purpose, because we want more of God and we need hope. We need our hope to be revived. You know what I'm saying? So it was just amazing. And like even seeing Pastor Sarah just in action, like if you guys don't know, Bishop T.D. Jakes, he had a ministry, a women's ministry called Women Thou Art Loosed. And it was something that he started, I think, like like the early 2000s. And it grew to be this ginormous women's ministry. And the towards the middle of last year, he basically gave the mantle and torch to Sarah Jakes, meaning like Women Thou Art Loose is now hers now. And she basically combined her dad's ministry, Women Thou Art Loose, with her own ministry, Women Evolve, to make it all Women Evolve. And I am so excited because like just to see Sarah in person and to see her passion for God and just to see her wisdom, and not even perfectionist, because it's not about perfection. It's not about, oh, she can say all these big words. Oh, she has this connection. Oh, her last name is Jakes. Like, no, it's just like, you can, like, for me, like just by me being in the same room with her and just seeing what she's birthed, seeing Women Evolve, seeing the video, seeing the brand, seeing the women here, seeing her, like just seeing all of this, you can see that she genuinely cares for women. Like, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that have a goal and they know they have talent, they know they have skill, but as far as their true heart for people, it's not there. And that's one thing for me. Like as I grow in my brand, as I grow on this platform, on my podcast, business, and many different things God has me doing, I want to have a genuine heart for those that I'm called to minister and those that I'm called to reach. Like I want to genuinely connect with people. Like that's why for me, like I don't want to just be on this pedestal where nobody can touch me, where I think I'm too good to like connect with like the congregation or like the followers, or I don't even want to say fans, like supporters or whatever. Like I want to be going down, talking with people, hugging with people, praying with people, believing with people, connecting with people. Like that's my heart. I don't want to be this thing where it's like nobody can touch me. Like I'm just the face, but nobody knows who I am. The devil's a liar. Like I want to connect with people. I want to talk, even on this podcast, y'all. Like I want to talk to all different people from all walks of life. Like that's my genuine desire. Like I want to, because I believe there's so much power in that. And I feel like that's the ministry that I'm called. That's part of the ministry that I'm called to do, is just to talk to all different types of people and give them a mic to share their story. Because I feel like when we allow somebody to speak, and when we allow somebody to just share their story and just to talk to them without judgment, without your assumptions of why they are where they are today and what they should have done right and what they did wrong and what they missed or whatever, you really can know why they act the way they do. You can know why they don't believe in God. You can know why they are a Buddhist and not a Christian. You know that just by talking to them. You know what I'm saying? So then now that you know like who they are, now that you know their story, you know how to pray for them. You know how to walk with them. And it's not every time like, oh, like you should believe in Jesus, do it now or you're going to die and go to hell. That's not no, like it's more so like, okay, like you dealt with rejection growing up by church people. So you're not a Christian anymore. I'm going to pray for that. I'm going to pray for the healing of church hurt. I'm going to pray for the words that were instilled in you or spoken upon you, the curse words that were spoken upon you. I'm going to pray for deliverance and freedom. And maybe one day God will soften your heart and encounter you in a special way that you won't forget. That's the ministry that I'm called to, at least. Like that's ministry. That is the love of Jesus. Jesus was not, and that's the thing. Like, if Jesus was a God who was like, okay, I'm going to be hands off, y'all do what you want to do, he never would have came down. He never would, because there would be no reason. He never would have came down. But what did he do? He came down in the fleshly form as a man to go through life. So when we complain to him, when we talk to him, when we say all these things to him, he knows, he can relate to it because he's been there. He's been there. He's dealt with, going to school and dealing with bullies. He's dealt with your parents, getting on your nerves. He's dealt with betrayal from friends. He's dealt with seeing things in real time in real life. Like, he's dealt with that stuff. So I feel like even with operating in transparency, that I even saw that Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts does, and that I hope to do, there's so much power in that. When you operate in transparency and you operate in being relevant, you get what I'm saying? And not even relevant, not relevant, but relatable. I meant, like, being relatable, like, people see you as a safe place. You know what I'm saying? So it was just beautiful, because, like, there was even parts of the Hope Revival tour where they had a Q&A. So a lot of women were standing up, and it started off to be like this funny thing, but women started to really open up. Like, I remember this one woman, she said, she was just like, I'm angry at God because my mother died a couple of years ago, and God knew this. He knew. Why would you take my mom away and expect me not to be mad? He knew. So I'm angry at him. I'm angry, and I fight a lot, and I argue with people, and I curse a lot, and I don't care because I'm angry, and God knew this. And it was just beautiful because she was telling her truth. She wasn't like, oh, okay, it's fine, everything's okay, and life is perfect. She's like, I'm angry and I want to fight. And who won't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real. That is real. And it was beautiful because they had therapist, what is her name? Doctor, let me look it up, y'all, because I really want to shout her out because she was coming for my entire life. And it was amazing. Dr. Anita Phillips. She's a trauma therapist. Anita Phillips. Please look her up. Her Instagram is Dr. Anita Phillips, her name. It was amazing because Sarah brought her out there, so that, because there was two sessions. It was like, one was like the icebreaker Q&A session with Dr. Anita, and the second session was Pastor Sarah preaching. And Dr. Anita was able to minister to this woman in such a beautiful way. And it really just, like, snowballed to her, like, really speaking life over everybody and speaking against slow suicide. And I was like, whoa, slow suicide, what's that? And she was just like, if you have the attitude, or if you have the mindset of, okay, well, if I die, I die. If I wake up, I wake up. It doesn't really matter to me. That's slow suicide. Or if you, because a lot of times we think suicide is okay, like, the extreme of, like, shooting yourself or, killing yourself. God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. But a lot of times we don't talk about slow suicide. And slow suicide could be depression. Slow suicide could be anxiety. Slow suicide could be lack of self-worth. Like, just like, to me, slow suicide is just taking the meaning out of things, like not really caring. It's like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's slow suicide, because there's no hope. Like, there's no hope. Like, there's no hope that you have. You know what I'm saying? So it was just beautiful. And Dr. Anita was able to minister to her, and we was able to pray for her and pray for each other. And that probably had to be one of my probably my best moment throughout the whole show, was when Pastor Sarah and Dr. Anita was like, turn to the woman next to you and hold her hand and look her in her eye, and don't say anything for a minute. Just look her in her eye. Because a lot of times we don't need anybody to say something to us. We don't need a speech. We don't need a prayer. Sometimes we just need somebody to see us, to see that we exist, and to see that they notice us. And it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful, because then we started to pray for the woman beside us. And I mean, people were, deliverance was taken forth, and, people were crying, like, praising, worship. It was so beautiful. And that's where I got the title of this episode, is that it takes a village. Because in that moment, that was the perspective shift that happened for me, is that, like, It isn't about a competition. It's not about a competition. It's not about me being the best. The devil's a liar. It's about, okay, God gave me this vision to help other people. God gave me a vision. Jesus came down to help us. That's the thing. Like that's the thing. It's like when we are walking with God, we're a servant. We're serving him to serve other people. We're loving him to be able to love other people. You know what I'm saying? So it really does take a village when it comes to, and this even is outside. It goes along the lines of, but it's even outside of just like having accountability and having your friends, but like having the mindset of being a selfless person, right? So not just saying, oh, it's me, myself, and I don't need nobody else, and I'm going to be the best of the best, and I'm going to be, you see Satan. You see Satan. He not in heaven no more. He's down there because of his pride and because he thought, oh, okay, I can be like God. Okay, like I can be just like him. I can be even better than him and all of this nonsense, right? But it's like in that moment, it was just so beautiful to just see women hug other women that they don't know. Like you don't have to, they weren't best friends with that woman. They didn't know them like the back of their hand, but all they knew is that they were praying for them, and all they knew is that she is a daughter of God who I want to pray for, who I want to touch, who I want to impart something upon, who I want to hug, who I want to love on. Like it was just so good, y'all. It was so amazing. And I'm sure they have like a bunch of different clips. Like Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts has like a bunch of different clips on her Instagram. So I encourage you to go watch it, and just so you can get a glimpse of just what was just happening in the room. But like, yeah, it was just a perspective shift for me. That's really all I have to say. It was just such a perspective shift to me that it's like I said, like even when I'm tired and I'm like, God, I want to give up, I'm like, nope, I gotta, there's people attached to my yes. Like there's people that I gotta help. There's people that you know were in the bondage I was in that I gotta help get out. There's people that need the encouragement to walk in what God's called them to walk in, because all they heard for their entire life was people undermining them and trying to push them in another direction that God never told them to. Like they need what I have. They need my voice. Like it's not about like, oh, followers and likes. And it's not about that. And I feel like God even has me in a season. And I was talking to him about this other day. I feel like God has me in a season where, as far as like likes and followers, it's not as much as I want it to be. You know what I'm saying? It's not as much as I want it to be. But I'm like, you know what, Lord, I thank you for it. I'm grateful because I don't want it to be about likes and followers, you know, and I believe that God gives us what we can handle, right? Like he doesn't give us more than we can bear. And a lot of times we think, okay, like God's not going to give me, you know, trials and challenges that he knows I can't, you know, bear or see through. But even with blessings, God's not going to give you a million followers if you can't even be consistent with two. He's not going to give you a successful business if you don't even know how to talk to a client for real. He's not going to put you on that pedestal. He's not going to give you that mic if you don't know how to serve. He's not going to expand that dream and vision if your heart is not in it for real. If your heart's just for the physical things, just for the money you can get out of it, just for you to have a million followers behind your name, just so people can think that you're big and bad, like he's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know. To me, it was just a perspective shift. Like, Lord, like help me to always remember that it's never just about me. It's never about me. Why do you think the enemy like attacks the children of God so much? Because he knows the impact. Everything's a domino effect. Everything's a domino effect. So for example, like even me going to the gym, right? So now y'all know I go to the gym a lot more now. I go to the gym about 3 to 4 times a week, right? And because I go to the gym, my mindset now is like, shoot, I got to eat healthy now. So what am I doing? I'm eating more healthier. Why? Because I want all the hard work I'm putting at the gym not to go to waste. So I'm eating more healthier. Like I'm eating more vegetables. I'm doing all of these things, right? So I'm having better eating habits. And also because I go to the gym, I drink more water. So when I'm at work, I have a huge water jug instead of just like a normal water bottle. I have a huge water jug, right? And because of that, I drink more water. So it's like a lot of times, a lot of things are domino effects. A lot of things, it's just a domino effect. All we need is the first step. And I feel like it's the same way with our faith and the same way with our obedience. That's why the enemy attacks us so much, because he knows it's just a domino effect. That's all it is. With Jesus, it was a domino effect. He started walking, his disciples followed him, and the entire crowd and everybody followed him. It's a domino effect. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a perspective shift for me. And even like talking about competition and stuff like that is something God's even still working with me in. Really, it really is. Like not being competitive and not being threatened when I see other people doing what I want to do, or at the success that I hope to be at one day, or are even in the same field as me, right? Because like y'all know I talk about the Know For Sure podcast all the time on my podcast, because I love the podcast. It's definitely my number one every week. Like if you have not heard of the Know For Sure podcast for the umpteenth time, please look them up with B. Simone and Megan Ashley. But I remember when I started really being consistent with my podcast for real, and I started like watching Know For Sure, I was just like, dang, like they have all this stuff and they have all this stuff and yada, yada, yada. And it was like I couldn't really enjoy watching them for real for some time, because I was so stuck in my head. I was comparing. I was like, dang, they got those lights. I got to get those lights. Dang, they got that mic. That's like 3K. Shoot, I got to save. Dang, they got those cameras. They got that background. They can rent a space. And I'm like, wait, where they are at in their life is totally different from where I'm at in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's totally different. It's totally different, So, yeah, it was like comparison is something that God's really even dealing with me in. And even like with, like I said, like my podcast and just different dreams and goals that I have, when I see other people that are role models to me on social media, or in the marketing agency field, or in the podcasting field, or in the YouTube field, I compare, and it's like I can't even enjoy their content for real because I'm so in my head. So it was like at this event, at the Hope Revival Tour, God was really like, you see this? Like, this is what it's about. It's not about you being on stage. It's not about you holding the mic. It's about what's happening in the crowd. Like, it's about people praying for each other. It's about people loving on each other. It's about like people embracing each other, encouraging each other, like being on fire for me, for God, not me, but like God was saying it to me, like being on fire for God. It's not about who's on stage and who got the mic and who look good and who can show it off. It's not about that, because guess what? That's all vanity. That's here one day, gone tomorrow. The reality is we all gonna die one day. So why would I just build an empire for myself that only me can stand on? So when I die, it all crumbles and there's no evidence of what I did. What's the point of that? There's a Bible verse that says, what profits a man to gain the whole world, but to lose its soul? What profits you to gain everything, but to lose the most important thing, your soul, your character, your peace, your relationship with Jesus? What profits you? Profits you? That doesn't profit you anything. You know what I'm saying? And when I was even like thinking about this story, I kind of wanted to end it off with like this story, right? It's this Bible story. And let me pull it up. It's about the story of the three people with the talents, right? And I believe this was in Matthew. Y'all, I'm so bad with Bible verses. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong. It's Matthew something, right? All I did was screenshot the actual verse. It's Matthew something. But I'm gonna read the story to you guys. It's the parable of the talents. It's in Matthew. Believe it's like Matthew 13. Please look it up. It's in Matthew. So it says this, the parable of the talents. For it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Right? Remember how I said God's not going to give us something that we can't handle. Then he went away. Verse 16. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So also he who had the talents made 2 talents more. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Now, after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here, I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you delivered to me 2 talents. Here, I have made 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He who had received the 1 talent came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid. I went and I hid your talent in the ground. Here, you have what is yours. But the master answered him and said, You wicked and slothful servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers. And at my coming, I should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has the 10 talents. For to everyone who has will be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness. In that place, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Right. So obviously, towards the ending, it got kind of graphic, but I think I brought up this story because I really do think that it talks about us hoarding, us hoarding like our gifts and hoarding different things. And a lot of times we think hoarding. In this story, this servant just like literally buried his talent in the ground. And it's so interesting that it's a talent, because it's a talent. God has given us all talents. He's given us all skills. He's given us all a purpose, all a passion, right? And this servant, he didn't even do anything with it. He dug it in the ground. So I think that's one way to look at it, but it's also, we can look at it as this servant just held something within himself. He didn't go and to trade with somebody else, to show what he has and to grow with somebody else. He didn't, go out and see if he can bargain or get more. Like, all he did was bury it and hold it within himself. And I feel like that kind of goes with what we're talking about like, thinking that it's just me, myself, and I, and like, no, I don't need a village. It's not about other people. It's about me and what I can get. And I can be the, the biggest thing and the, yada, yada, yada. And like, the master literally cursed the servant and was like, and casted him out into the darkness. Like, that's what he did. Because he's just like, you should have went to the bankers. You should have invested. You should have done something with what I gave you. Right. And he thought, the servant was like, well, I'm playing it safe. I didn't know I was going to have the interest back. So I just buried it in the ground and I gave it to you. And the master's like, that's not what I told you to do. I told you to go out in the world and to show off what I gave you and to make an impact to get more. You know what I'm saying? So I think that story is relevant because it's like, when we connect with other people, when we have a village around us, when we have them, and it's not even just like, okay, like I need a village of 15 people around me for me to receive this word. That's not what I'm saying. It's just more so a mindset. Just simply knowing it's not just about you. Just simply knowing that what you're called to do, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. It's just simply knowing that, you know what, Lord, like if you If God has called you to be a musician, right? If God has called you to be a singer, God has called you to be an entrepreneur, God has called you to be a photographer, God has called you to be an artist, just know that whatever you do, it is meant to impact whoever it is meant to receive. You get what I'm saying? It's not just about like, oh, okay, I have this skill, so I know I can go far. That's not what it's about. It's about who are you impacting? What is the evident outside of yourself, outside of your hands? What is the evident impact of what you're doing? What has there been any type of impact? Has there been any evident impact or domino effect because of what you're doing? If it starts and stop with you, that's a problem. If it starts and stop with you, that's something that you have to go back to the cross and go back to Jesus and really realign your desires with his. So that's all I really had to say. In this episode, I just was like, I kind of want to talk about that and make that the social dilemma episode two, because I feel like, we live in a society where competition is everywhere, competition and wanting to be better and stuff like that. And it's like, God's like, we need to have a mindset where it's like, if one person wins in the body of Christ, we all win. It's not about whose name it's attached to. The only name it should be attached to is Jesus, not Gloria and Koyo. Gloria and Koyo and Called by My Name is just simply a vessel. But the name that's honestly one thing in my quiet, and I'll even like be transparent with you guys. Like, in my quiet time, I'm like, Lord, like, on my deathbed, I just want people to know you. That when they look at my life, I want people to know you, to know that was God that was on her life. I don't want them to know, oh, Gloria and Koyo, she had all these accolades and she did all of this. I don't care, but I want people to know you, because when I'm gone, I need somebody to pick this up and keep it going in whatever God called them to, in whatever God has them do. But I don't want, once I die, the Called by My Name empire and brand falls to the ground. The devil's a liar. Like, the devil is a liar. And that's not saying that, like, when it's my time to go, then somebody else got to pick up the man, unless God tells me. But like, if not, it's just simply, okay, I'm encouraging you to walk in your purpose. Then go forth in that and let that be what's evident in my life. You know what I'm saying? Or let that be what's evident in what I did in my ministry. That's that. So yeah. So I just feel like I just really want to encourage us to not be selfish, to know that it really does take a village. Like, really challenge yourself to have that mindset that it's bigger than you. It's always, and I'll keep saying that because it's so much bigger than us, right? It's so much bigger than what we can do with our own hands. It's so much bigger than what we can get out of it. Like, Jesus Jesus was fine all by himself with the Trinity in heaven before he came down. Like, he didn't need us. But he did it for us. For God so loved the world that he gave. It didn't say God took or God kept or God hoarded or God dug in the ground. It said God gave. So I feel like I just want to encourage us that it really does take a village, and just to challenge yourself to have that mindset to give, and to know that it's not just about you. So yeah, that's all I really had to say on this episode. But I hope this episode helped you guys. I hope that you were blessed by it. I hope that it challenged you in some type of way to just simply be selfless. Just simply be selfless, and just to simply to have in the back of your mind that when you walk in your purpose, whether it's, and sometimes when we say walk in our purpose, it can be this whole big, thing. It can simply be just saying yes to Jesus today. Whether it's Jesus saying for you to go to the store down the street and just sit there till I tell you to move. That's walking in your purpose, because you're walking in your purpose and is being obedient to God. So whatever that looks like for you. You know what I'm saying? So just as you walk in your purpose and as you're being obedient to God, always have in the back of your head that it's not just about you, and it really does take a village. And that it having the it starts with me and it stops with me mindset. Like, as far as like the impact, that's a problem. Now, as far as you breaking generational curses, absolutely, it does stop with you. But as far as impact, it should start with you and continue when you're gone. You know what I'm saying? So So yeah, I hope this episode really helps you guys. I'm really excited about our next episode, y'all. I have an amazing guest. I'm not going to say their name. I'm not going to give any details because I want you guys to wait and definitely tune in to the next podcast episode. Because y'all know I was serious. I was like, listen, we are bringing on guests, y'all. I have guests lined up literally almost this entire year. Like, I'm literally trying to plan ahead because, like, I'm like, listen, we're coming strong with we're coming strong with this podcast. We're coming strong with Called by My Name. And I'm really excited. I'm just really expectant to do my part and just see what the Lord does. But it's going to be a power-packed episode. So you want to make sure that you're tuned in, and you want to also make sure that you're following us on Instagram and subscribing to our YouTube channel to see all the information and stuff like that. And yeah, stay tuned for the next episode of our next guest. If you guys love Shainah, you will absolutely love this next guest. So, but until next time, y'all.